Hey everybody, guess where I'm at? I just tried it, and because of the water right in here, this is my old campsite. I've done a lot of videos here. The creek has moved. I showed this once before. The creek moved and flooded out, changed directions, and now where I used to be able to walk and drive through is mud and ice and water. But I got thinking about sitting here and like, what would I do if I was actually stuck out here? And you don't have to go a million miles out of nowhere to practice or to train. This is a great training area right here. Now, I planned a scenario out in my head. I got stuck, right? I have to walk home, which is 2.5 miles that way. I have to walk home now with the walker. And the reason why I did this is I had a gig on New Year's Eve, and it was supposed to be clear and beautiful, and I started going, to the gig, and the roads were nothing but black ice, and then it started snowing on top of the black ice, and I literally was pulled over, stuck, till the salt trucks came by. So what would happen in my situation had I slid off the road? And oddly enough, this is the area I was actually pulled in. I was pulled in over on the road over there. So I got looking at it. Now this whole area has changed since, I was down here a couple of years ago running every day. Let me see if I can zoom that in. See this big tree right here? The top of that big tree is down right there. Right in there, that big hickory, that makes a natural corner right there. You can see it, you got the one part of the tree running here, the top of the tree running here, and that makes a natural corner right in there. Now, I'd have all this here for firewood. Now, I can get up into that corner, lay down over in here. I'm not sure if you can see it as good as I can, but I can lay down over in this corner here or along that big section over there. That's about 4 or 5 foot long. Put a little fire right out in here, except for overhead cover, but for like wind and stuff at night, I'd have 2 natural wind breaks, a corner to stay in. That big tree is solid, so I don't have to worry about that coming down on me. Now, I'm in my street clothes, don't forget. I don't have, my inch bag in the car, nothing like that. I'm in my street clothes. That would make a natural shelter enough to keep you warm at night and keep you alive till the next day. And actually, there might be enough debris there or shingles off of them trees that I could probably make a little bit of some kind of overhead cover. Possibly run from this down right here to that one, a couple of logs across, just enough to hold the some leaves over the top to hold the heat in. Now over here, I don't know if you can see that white stone right there. That's a big piece of chert. There's 2 or 3 big pieces here that actually just got uncovered this year. That right there is river birch. That up there is river birch. There's a lot of it down around along here, paper birch. So I have tinder. I'm pretty sure I'd be able to shelter here definitely overnight. Now, like I said, my home is about 2 miles that way. There's a lot of other buildings and stuff like that that's, closer. There's a church across the street here. I don't know if you can really see it, but yeah, you can see just a little bit of that. Where am I at? That white spot right in there. That's a house over in the woods about, I don't know, maybe 300 yards. So it's not like I'd be in bad shape. I'm just saying if I had to make it home. What could I do to really do this? And, a lot of people carry shelters with them and yada, yada, yada. But it's natural shelters that's going to get you through the bad times. There's a shelter right there that would take me minutes to envelop. All the firewood I would need for the night. And I would have 3 natural windbreaks, actually, because that corner there would protect my back, my left and my right. So I'd have a perfect shelter. Now, looking around, I'm sitting in my car doing this video, obviously. You can see. Okay. In the trunk of my car, I have a couple of bottles of water that I keep there for when I go to play gigs. And there is a couple of hospital blankets I use when I'm carting in my equipment and whatnot to keep it from getting moisture on it and whatnot. Especially when I come out at night, I put the blankets over it so that it doesn't get too cold too fast and create moisture. Come to think of it, talking about tinder, there might even be fatwood in them stupid trees. That's an old pine tree that came down. And there's actually a river birch right there that big tree sitting against. So anyway, I've got them blankets in the back. I'd have some kind of cover over my head and something to wrap around me for insulation. So the more I sit here and the more I think about it, except for food, which, you're not going to starve to death overnight. And I've got a fresh water supply right behind that shelter. There's a nice creek that runs straight out of the mountain spring up here. But except for food, I'd have it made for tonight. Now, this is something that people would normally just walk past, not even think about. And that's the whole point in a survival situation or whatever you're going to be in, is to use your mind. Use your imagination and say, hey, wait a minute. Whoa, that looks like the corner of something. And use that. Utilize it. Utilize what you have with you. I mean, on my EDC, in my wallet, I've got my Swiss Army knife. I've got that Exo-Tac that I can never get struck right. But inside my wallet, I have a mini ferro rod. And a couple of them survival card tools that I can strike, ferro rods with and whatnot. So it would not be hard getting a fire. I'd have a semi-shelter, and if I used the stuff out of my car, I'd have a full shelter. So I got shelter, I got fire, and I would have water. And there's nothing else you need, to be honest with you. Now, in that whole scenario of everything, right in there you can see a beer can. That's one of them big 32-ounce beer cans. So if I needed to cook or boil water or whatever, I can utilize the junk. Just something I wanted to bring to you, and, it's something to think about. Not passing up opportunities because we won't let our imagination get the better of us because we're carrying stuff that, we don't have to worry about it. So now we don't have to use our imagination. But if you're stuck and you don't have anything with you, one of these days when you go out and you're, just walking through the woods on a hike or whatever, look over the area and see what you can make natural shelters out of and try them out. Actually, if I could get through this stupid mud puddle here, I would be over there trying that out just to see, and filming it just to see how it would, shape up and how comfortable it would be. You don't have to go out here and do this at night. You can do this in the daytime too. Of course, it's going to be a lot colder at night. It would give you more of an idea, but you can try it out in the daytime. It'll give you an idea how warm it's going to be for you at night. Just a couple of ideas. But take a look at that, and I'm going to leave this run for a little while. Take a look at that. Use your imagination. See how you would improve that shelter. It's already a shelter. You got windbreaks on 3 sides, so it's already a shelter. But just watch that and see how you could improve it. And I'll do a sweep here and let you see what kind of resources are within 25 yards of where that is located. Now that big log is on the other side of the creek, so just bear in mind. That's a 2x8 or 2x6. There's some nice poles for firewood. As you can see, there's a lot of resources here to improve that right there. So like I said, I'm going to leave this run. Take the time. Look at that shelter. Build that in your mind. And it'll give you an idea what you can and you can't do if you don't have anything with you. Hey, this is Tom. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you guys on the next one.